It's early December at the Pueblo Railway Museum's D Street shop. And this empty flat car that was rolled into the shop in late November has undergone a festive transformation. Since Thanksgiving, many of our museum volunteers have been working hard to get everything decorated and ready for the museum's biggest event of the year, the 14th annual Pueblo Express Christmas Train. The event begins on the evening of Saturday, December 9th. 2 hours before the arrival of our museum guests, preparations are underway. Our Christmas inflatables are deflated, and volunteers Colin Mellon, Larry Toit, Chris Fox, and Paul Brown get the flat car attached to the museum's Rio Grande caboose to pull it out of the shop. Then it's off to the switchyard to start getting things on the right track. As nightfall arrives, so does the flat car, pushed into its designated parking space alongside several other museum attractions. A few minutes later, our inflatables are up and ready to go. Another quick switchyard maneuver, and the train which was pushing the flat car just a few minutes earlier is now on its own track, ready for passengers to come on board. Santa himself has even made time in his busy schedule to come to our event. And not a moment too soon. Passengers are already lined up and ready for a train ride. Our guests are at Wayne's gift shop to purchase their tickets for the train we call the Pueblo Express. Our Pueblo Express borrows from concepts used in the 2004 Warner Brothers film The Polar Express. The movie tells the story of an unnamed Michigan boy who has begun to doubt the existence of Santa Claus. On Christmas Eve, he boards a train outside his house, bound for the North Pole. You can't ride the train without a ticket, and the tickets for the Pueblo Express are similar to those in the film. On one side of our Pueblo Express ticket, there's an image of a steam engine, but it's not just any steam engine. In fact, it's none other than the museum's own Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 2912. That's Mrs. Santa Claus standing next to the engine. The word "believe" on the ticket is also borrowed from the movie. It's a short message of encouragement from the train conductor, helping to reinforce the doubting child's belief in Santa. Once the tickets are all punched by our conductor, it's time for a trip on the Pueblo Express. In the December darkness, the Christmas decorations on our Pueblo Express train are quite spectacular. Not to be outdone, the brilliant lights on lots of other train cars beckon. The boxcar on the left with the wreath is the diner car. Here, our guests enjoyed hot chocolate and cookies. The small, unassuming car, tucked in between the diner and the gift shop, has a fascinating history that's worth a couple of minutes to explore. The car's designation is ASFX 1965. It's nicknamed the X Car. The ASF part of the designation comes from its builder, American Steel Foundries. That company, now known as Amstead Rail, has been making railroad cars since the late 1800s. According to the museum's records, the X car was originally a baggage car and then a dining car. Then, the Transportation Technology Center, a world-class railroad research facility located just a few miles from the museum, used this car to test a concept. They outfitted the car to take X-rays of the railroad surface as it moved down the tracks, as a way to check the quality of the railroad bed. They even added a 3/4-inch thick lead floor to protect the occupants from the X-rays, which then meant that they had to add more wheels to the car to support the 6 tons of added lead weight. But as it turned out, the technology wasn't feasible. For our Christmas event, the inside of our X-car is decked out with lots of trees and a small circular train layout. The doorway in the back of the car leads into another car, called the 5410 after its designation. This is where the train toys get serious. Volunteer Dwight Maxey is in charge of this winter wonderland. It's filled with folks celebrating the season. At the other end of this train car is yet another door leading to another car. It's here, in a small red caboose, where Santa patiently listens to gift requests from the young and the young at heart. Santa and Mrs. Claus were both giving out small gifts, a red mesh bag with a couple of chocolate candies tied with a bow with a small bell attached. The bell is another important symbol from the Polar Express movie. As the boy in the story discovers, the bell's beautiful sound can only be heard by those who believe in Santa. The Pueblo Express event was held for 4 days over 3 weekends: Saturday, December 9th, Friday the 15th, Saturday the 16th, and Christmas Eve, Sunday the 24th. Many Pueblo area families have made it an annual tradition to ride the Pueblo Express, especially on Christmas Eve. This year's Pueblo Express was a record setter. More than 200 riders on Christmas Eve alone, and a total of 740 riders during the 4 days of the event. It took a lot of effort from a lot of people to make it happen. Not only did our Pueblo Railway Museum volunteers contribute, but some of their relatives pitched in as well. Thanks to Shirley and Petar Sredoyevich, Debbie McDonald and her grandson John, Sally and Larry Toit, Ron Roach, John McDowell, Diana Applegate, Siggy and Mike Walker, Colin Mellon, Reed Adams, Chris Fox, Dwight Maxey, Paul Brown, and Jerry Dandurand. The Pueblo Express was a great ending to a great 2017. The Pueblo Railway Museum wishes to thank everyone who rode our trains this year. Our trains may not go to the North Pole, but, to borrow a line from the movie, there's one thing about trains. It doesn't matter where they're going. What matters is deciding to get on. We look forward to seeing you on our trains in 2018 at the Pueblo Railway Museum.